course, featuring Nate Roos with Just Give Me a Reason. And, of course, before that, played you the awesome and fantastic Feed Me with Crystal Fighters. Love is all I got. In the studio with me, two amazing, lovely ladies. One of them being, of course, Jabu. Jabu never been a stranger. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Is this the first time this year, babe?
I think it is. Hey, I'm breaking into it.
Just
after the first quarter.
But you've been really busy, I can imagine, with all the projects that have been going around through Amnesty International. Jabu, please, for those that really don't know, introduce yourself once more, please, for us.
Okay, great. Thanks, Rose. Hi, everyone. I'm Jabu. I'm the Human Rights Education Officer at Amnesty. Basically, that means I help people understand their rights, and I'm very lucky because I get to do that in fun ways, like talking with Rose, and through film festivals and working with communities and schools, which is what I'm going to be talking about today.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, we've got Karabu. Once again, hi, Karabu. How are you doing, babe?
Hi, I'm good.
Finally, we get to speak to you. Tell us about your involvement with Amnesty International this year.
I'm basically a volunteer.
Yes.
I'm Jabu's wingman. I basically am learning the strings of Amnesty, what they do, how they get their things done, how they get human rights out there, which is, a passion for me. And every day is just really interesting to just learn new things.
All right, so now today we're going to be talking about the letter writing marathon.
Yeah.
I saw some of the pictures and in fact, our family is not, unfamiliar with this because I have mentioned the letter writing, marathon. And they happen to go on everywhere, but hard locally. So we're starting those here now as well.
Exactly.
So that's what we're going to be dealing on with the human rights friendly schools, which are writing these letter marathons.
That's exactly right, Rose.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So what schools have we got on board this time around?
So the letter writing marathon, basically, we did it during Human Rights Month, which was in March. And we had about 28 schools involved across 5 provinces. So that's Gauteng, Limpopo, KZN, Western Cape, and Northwest. It was amazing, the response that we got, especially since it's the first time that we're doing it in schools. The reason we didn't do it in the past is because globally, letter writing happens in December. And we know that our schools are closed and, it's festive season.
You know this.
Yeah, so this was a test, but it was incredible, the kind of response we got, because we engaged more than 20,000 learners.
Brilliant! That is really good. December time, no?
In March.
Yes.
But we don't know if we can do that in December.
Yeah.
20,000 learners. We had 48 amazing volunteers like Karabo.
Yes.
People who are just as talented as her in the communities, going to the schools every day, getting them to write the letters. And the outcome of that was that overall, we collected almost 16,000 letters. That's almost 1 letter a person. In 30 days.
Wow. So this is really good. This is going really strong. This is fantastic.
It's really amazing. And I think the cherry on the cake is that the letters that the learners were writing to government, some of them went to the Department of International Relations and Cooperation. And they were looking at things like trying to get the South African government to push for an arms trade treaty that respects human rights. And partly because of the great work that the learners did, that the young people did, we actually got the arms trade treaty signed.
Yes!
And the South African government was one of the 154 countries that pushed for that. That's amazing.
It is great. And that is obviously from, the volunteers, the members. It's you. It's really you doing this. And without you, we don't have anything.
Exactly.
We really don't have anything. So now what is going on with that Human Rights Friendly project? Because I've got this as saying that, building a global culture of human rights by empowering young people, encouraging active. I mean, it's true. If you can't get the younglings to be encouraged, if they're not encouraged, how on earth can we get this done?
Exactly.
Because let's face it, we're the ones that have more time to kill. Does that make any sense? We have more time to kill. Our parents and a lot of the, somebody that is actually working right now, they go to work, they've got a 9-to-5 job, they've got children, they've got a dog to feed, they've got this to do, they've got that to run, they've got that errand. They still have to make sure that mom's not angry because they haven't visited them that weekend. So, do you see what I'm saying? There's a lot of time, but you're doing so many other things in it. So it's really good that we get the young people involved because we're the ones that have time for the movies. We have time for chilling in the sun and just talking and gossiping. We've got the time to literally chill at the corner and perv and hot guys driving by. So we need to be participating. So now how are you guys actually getting that going?
Yeah, I think, Rose, you touched on some important points. I think one thing that we need to remember is that the young people of today are the ones who are going to be taking responsibility. They're the ones who are going to be leading in a few years. So it's important to make sure that the culture of human rights is instilled at a young age, that it continues. And we know what kind of history we come from.
Yes.
So the learning on human rights and the culture doesn't stop because we're already in a democratic country. It's something that continues. And the Letter Writing Marathon was actually an entry point into the school for the school to start to create a human rights culture within the school. And that's in every aspect, not just in writing letters, but in everything, Rose, from the way that young people relate to each other. I mean, you talked about young people perving at boys, but like, how do they relate to each other? Is there bullying? Is that human rights friendly?
That's not human rights friendly. That isn't. And you're touching on something really so strong over there. A lot of the times, and I've noticed with this also letter writing, what it could also do is, as you writing, I mean, seriously, think of it this way. You've heard about a beating of some sort in a school where, let's just say, a girl, she was beaten by other girls, maybe because she's not as pretty as them, or she's even prettier and the other girls are jealous, and we look at that and we just say, children are cruel, children, they just, mean little issues anyways. And imagine now having to read a letter or a story about that happening to somebody whom is your peer. And then now, because it's not just happening outside, it's not just happening on a newspaper, it's not just happening on the radio that you're hearing about it, but now you're actually literally picking up a paper and you're writing this letter to say, we want justice, we want all those kids, we want all those girls that decided, that out of their own wanted to go out of their way and just abuse this one little girl for whatever reason. And I think consciously in writing that letter, you will be aware of just how much goes on around you without your involvement. And letter writing marathons, they do that. In fact, letter writing marathons are addictive.
Yes, they are.
They are addictive. Because once you've written that one letter on behalf of somebody who is wrongfully accused or whom is wrongfully treated, whom their human rights are literally just disregarded, you're going to want to write another letter for somebody else. That's what's going to happen.
That's the beauty of letter writing. And I mean, this is what we're trying to help to inculcate in the schools. And so the letter writing will continue within the school group. But we also want to make sure that there's human rights happening in the curriculum.
Yes,
we also want to...
you can't just say, okay, look, we from Amnesty, this is a letter, we're against this. And then yet the teachers are like, I don't care. Or, school doesn't really support it. You're right, it needs to be in the curriculum.
And the school rules. The school rules have to be human rights friendly. We can't have rules that are benefiting one gender over another or one particular class over another. That's why the Human Rights Friendly Schools project is so important. It's not only looking at one dimension of the school life, it's looking at every dimension, and it's dealing with everybody from the principal to the ground staff
it is.
at the school, because the culture is created by every individual within that environment.
Okay, so we're going to take a little break at the moment. Here's Lamar with Invincible. Open, fallen past on UJFM 95.4, 10:37, your time currently. Karaboy and Jabu in the studio. Welcome, ladies, and thank you once again for taking your time to come out and join us.
We love to be here.
I'm so glad. Gumnandi Gubala.
Especially
All right, so they're from Amnesty International, and all of us here are either members or partners, or that's us. So you also need to get on that. Become a member of Amnesty International. Make a difference. It's so funny that we actually sometimes say, things won't change. Nothing will ever... Look, if it wasn't for people like Amnesty International, the death penalty will still be here. So please... things like that. And it wasn't just one person that said, no, I don't want it. No. It was us writing letters. It was us standing up. It was us walking around protesting with our banners and lobbying this and talking to these guys and pushing them. It was us. It was the person. It was the normal guy, meaning you. So no excuses. You can't say no, but our government, those that say that are the ones that are comfortable in what they're in and they just won't admit it. And that's what I truly and firmly believe. So anyways, wow. I just preached.
Woo! Amen.
Woo! Anyways, okay, so now guys, tell me about the Cry of Iris and the protest art installation. What's going on?
The Cry of Iris protest art installation is an art project that was created by one of our human rights friendly schools.
Yes.
The school is called Pretoria High School for Girls. They're in Pretoria.
Yes,
you know them.
yes, I remember them.
The girls decided, I'm sure you remember earlier on in the year, there was a huge outcry because of what had happened to Anine Boyson. And it was just, a lot of people were just protesting and wanting to put an end to violence against women, especially rape. And the girls decided that they want to contribute to that. They want to say something, and they want to make sure that it's something that can reach other people. And they decided to create a protest art. What they did, they wrote letters, which we know is an Amnesty tradition.
Yes.
But we
do like writing
We
letters.
love writing letters. We love writing letters. But their letters were different in that they wrote letters on different colored paper.
That's amazing.
They did, they wrote signs. Some of them drew art.
I'm going to put some of it on Twitter. Check it at Rose Jock. It is unbelievable. Yes, carry on. Sorry, Jobs.
No problem. And you can also hashtag Cry Iris or Cry of Iris.
Okay.
And follow what's happening and give your comments to what you feel or think about it.
Hashtag Cry Iris.
Yeah.
Okay,
or
cool.
Cry of Iris.
Okay,
both
cool.
of them. So essentially they wrote the letters and then they folded them into origami flowers. So different flowers, roses, iris, daffodils, daisies. And it's a 26-fold origami structure.
Wow.
So it takes time and dedication.
A lot.
So it's not only about the flower itself, it's also about the message and also about the collective voice. So every girl did a flower. There's about 1,500 students at Pretoria, but altogether they did 2,000 flowers. Wow. They stuck them onto a piece of stick and they planted them on the school gardens. The pictures are on Amnesty International South Africa Facebook page, and Rose is posting some of them as well on Twitter. You can also follow at Amnesty South Africa to see the images. That's the first phase of the project. What the girls want to do now is to get other people, like the listeners,
Putting up
to
the
join
link on
in.
Facebook. I'm putting the Facebook link on Twitter so you can have a look-see at all of them because I can't. Yeah, there's too many beautiful flowers here. It looks gorgeous.
And they look real.
They look gorgeous.
They don't look like paper. They look like actual flowers. What we'd like to do is to get more people involved in the project, more people to make their own flowers, so that in August, during National Women's Month, we can plant more than 10,000 flowers at Pretoria Union Gardens.
Awesome.
Wow.
Awesome.
So this
Let's
is a
do
call
that.
for participation. Anyone who feels that we need to put an end to violence against women, anyone who feels that their voice has to be heard regarding the scourge of rape in South Africa should be part of this project. You're welcome to follow up on all of this with us, either through our Facebook page or our Twitter page.
And of course on Twitter it's Amnesty SA, right?
Amnesty is Africa.
It's Africa. There we go. So, my gosh, it looks gorgeous. These Pretoria High School girls, right? Pretoria High School, something like that. But, geez, it looks stunning. I've actually put up the link of the Facebook pictures themselves. And you can see how they did it. Can see them folding it in the process. It looks unbelievable. Everybody's just pitching in. You've got all the girls there in their school uniform. The grass is green and it's just covered with all these different colored flowers. It looks gorgeous. It really looks good. And these are letters.
Yeah, and it's incredible. I think
Doesn't matter. These are letters.
what's wonderful about it is that this was something that was conceptualized by the students. It's not something that Amnesty came up with. And that's what the Human Rights Friendly School project is about.
Yes. I like that. So we're going to take a little break in a bit because I would also like to talk about how exactly you can write letter. For me, on UJFM 95.4 beats per minute. 10:46 is your time currently, and of course, in the studio with me, Karabo, as well as Jabu ladies from Amnesty International, taking arms, of course, saying we want to make things fair. We want everything to be easy sailing. I mean, honestly, I don't think that we really want much. We just want an easy life. I just want an easy life. Who doesn't want an easy life, bruh? Like, I just want to wake up in the morning and be like, whoa, I actually forgot to close my door. You know what I'm saying?
I want an end to human rights abuses.
An end to human rights abuses, and which will lead to what? An easy life for everybody. Seriously, think about it. We write letters, all right? We write letters to anybody that may be suffering from any form, all forms, okay? So open your mind, whoever you know that has been, human rights abused in whatever form of way, just think of that person right now. So we write letters, and we speaking on behalf of those that can't be, that can't speak for themselves. That's what we are doing. Then when that problem is solved, what does that mean? We start, obviously, because I want to be president of South Africa. And then, quite naturally, we will also lead another movement which will tackle other issues. Like, Amnesty's job is honestly to protect human rights. And once that is done in every single country, with every single person, then there'll obviously be something else that we can, tackle on. And eventually that leads to an easy life. I want an easy life, bro. I don't know who doesn't want, I know everybody wants an easy life. So let's just all have this one vision of living easy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if we can all just do that, start writing and start being conscious in our living as well, which goes for the little things, that throwing away over paper on the floor when the bin's like 5 or 2 steps away. It's on.
Yeah.
That livers me, bro. It's a sensitive subject. That's what we want. And we also want to build a global, and just like the ladies were saying, a global culture of human rights by basically just saying young people, empowering these young people and encouraging them to participate. And we must actively just be in this. We should be in this. And I think that once the schools take on this curriculum, we are closer to an easy life. That's what I think. I mean, these are girls that decided as students, out on their own will, they went on their own limb and they said, we're going to do this. We're going to write letters. And instead of just that, we're going to make it look pretty. We're going to fold it, which takes a long time.
And I think on what you were saying, if we get, kids, schools, primary schools, high schools, believing in human rights, then they'll be looking at us in a couple of years' time, like maybe 10 years' time, thinking, how did you guys not believe in human rights? How did you not live a life of human rights? Yeah. How is that normal? How did you survive?
Yeah,
That's the kind of life we should be looking for, and not complaining and, whining or whatever, but instilling human rights in our everyday lives, in our children, in our siblings, in our family homes alone, and then letting it infiltrate into the working place, into, varsity for another one. And, eventually we'll get to that easy life, like you're saying.
Yes, we will. We'll get to that easy life.
Yeah. That's what we want.
That's what we want.
And it's not difficult.
It's really not
difficult. I mean, I think, there are 3 simple things that you can do now. You can join Amnesty.
Yes.
You can write a letter. You can sign a petition.
Done.
3 simple things that take a few minutes, and that will help us get to where we want to be.
And of course, you must check them out at Bromfontein, at the Bromfontein Centre.
Bromfontein Centre, 10th floor.
10th floor, Bromfontein Centre, and pick up a Wire magazine. Pick up a couple of Wire magazines, because in every single Wire magazine, there comes postcards. In those postcards, all you got to do is write your name and whom you'd like to direct it to. It's really that simple. And the beauty about it is on the postcard, it even tells you who to direct it to. So you can actually spell it correctly. How cool is that? How cool is that? Put a stamp on it and it is gone.
Yes.
And you've just spoken for somebody whom was thrown in prison for walking down the street because the police thought that he was part of those people that were rioting.
Yeah.
These things happen.
Yeah.
True story. True story, this happens. There's a bus strike at the moment. If rubber bullets and all this funny ish happens, there will be people that are caught in there that weren't even part of it. They were just innocent bystanders. And they get caught in it and they get locked up. And luckily this is South Africa. That person can speak for themselves. They can have a lawyer present. But in other countries, my dear, that does not exist. That innocent bystander, which was literally just taking pictures because they were just touring, they get taken with them. And then they also now, for what? Death penalty. It exists in other countries. It exists in other countries. So let's keep on writing. Let us instill this program in schools. Let's do that.
And let's support the cryovirus.
Yes.
If you're interested, contact us. Yes.
Please do. And it's www.amnesty.org.za. There we go. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Rose.
Thank you, so that we can all just